Hi, I'm Lisa Davis. I'm so glad you're listening to It's Your Health. If you listen to the show, you know I have a daughter with some learning differences, we call them. She has something called NLD or NLVD. She also has, or NVLD. She also has ADD and some sensory issues thrown in, and she's an absolute gem. And she was so excited to hear that I was interviewing Charles Kolin, who spearheaded an effort to create a formal resolution by Congress to support Unity Day, which is to honor and recognize the annual Anti-Bullying Prevention Day, formally on a national level. This is huge. Charles, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, so good to have you on. So Charles Kolin, let's talk. You have NVLD. I call it NLD. For people who are like, what are they talking about? What is NVLD?
Well, NVLD is a nonverbal learning disability, and so that makes a handful of things difficult for me to do. A lot of it has to do with visuals. So for example, my social cues makes it, I can't really, I have trouble reading social cues sometimes. And when it comes to visuals in class, I struggle with reading maps and reading graphs and anything that really has to do with visuals. So you can imagine that geometry was terrible.
Oh, gosh, my daughter struggles tremendously with math. She also got diagnosed with something called dyscalculia, which is a real thing that I probably have, but was just told I'm not trying hard enough, which is part of the dyslexia family. I don't know if you knew that. It's very interesting.
Of course. It's difficult to live with that, but at the same time, I sort of have to embrace it as part of me and trying to find the ways that makes me successful.
Exactly. And you're apparently very successful. You're on your way to a soccer practice right now, which is fabulous. So, Charles, I get so upset about bullying. I don't understand why kids are so cruel. I was bullied as a kid. I was very awkward. I was I definitely had undiagnosed learning differences, and because this was back in the 70s, and I couldn't, do anything athletic. And I not only was picked last for gym, but they would fight over who got stuck with me. So it really took a toll on my self-esteem. And then to see my daughter going through the same types of things, she hasn't been bullied, but there's just kids ignoring you or just kind of acting like you don't exist because she's in a special class. It really takes a toll on your self-esteem.
Of course.
Share your story with us.
Well, I share a similar story, being that my bullying wasn't physical; it was emotional and psychological and verbal. When people think about bullying, they usually think of someone shoving someone into a locker or beating someone up after class. In my case, it was kids saying, "Oh, everyone can go to my house except for you, Charles." It was making fun of me on the athletic field. It was inviting me somewhere and not showing up or walking with me into town, and then when I turn my back, they're gone.
Oh my God, that is horrible, Charles. I am so sorry.
Of course. What was really difficult about it is that the teachers, although they showed a lot of empathy and sympathy, there was really nothing they could do because the bullies hid it so well outside of school and inside of school.
That is so tough. So this went on, I read, from 5th grade to 8th grade?
Yes.
Did you talk to your parents about it, or did you have any support at home? Or?
Of course. My parents were extremely supportive. And like I said, so were the faculty. I mean, they met with me. They gave me time to meet and talk about what's going on. But that only goes so far, unfortunately. And the biggest problem was that although I had friends that were in the school, I certainly wasn't alone. But they were afraid that if they stepped up, they would be victims of bullies as well.
Oh, my goodness. So talk to us about this amazing thing, this Unity Day. Tell us how this came about and when you said, you know what, enough is enough. I want this to be like on a national level.
So when I eventually had to switch schools, I switched schools into Greens Farms Academy in Westport, Connecticut. And that environment, that new community was just so accepting of me, and they really wanted to see me at my best. And that really gave me the confidence to go out and look for organizations. I found PACER, National Bullying Prevention Center in Minnesota, who sort of coined and created Unity Day. And I gave them a call. I said, can I take this to my school and can I sort of embrace this? And they said, you have the green light to go ahead and take it. So I Charlesified it in my own little way. And I wanted to push it off to the next level. I introduced it into my school, and then I looked for government officials.
Wow, that's incredible. And I can't even imagine. I mean, that's a lot of work, right? You had to really take time out of what you need to do for schoolwork and everything to visit. You went to D.C., you met with members of Congress. Tell us about that.
Yes. So that was really the next step. After Unity Day got popular and we brought it into our school, I wanted to push it off to the next level. And so then from I would say December onwards to March, I was emailing 50 members of Congress, and eventually we got 20 responses after a really, really long and persistent time period of work where we just continued to email these offices. And I ended up getting 20 meetings in Washington, and then I met with my local representative in here, because I live in Greenwich, Connecticut, so I met with local Representative Fred Camillo, who introduced me to Senator Blumenthal, and from there my meetings took off, and I got a lot of support.
Oh my gosh, that is so fantastic. Your parents must be so proud.
Of course, and they were super, super surprised when I told them what was going on and that I needed a ride to Washington.
Yeah, Do you ever see these kids used to bully you? Do you ever say, you know what, I'm doing great, and you guys could just, The way that I look at it is these kids aren't bad kids. They're just lost. They don't really know where to turn to. If any of these kids needed my help, I'd be the first one to stop what I'm doing and help them. Because I believe in the best of people. Unity Day is about coming together for tolerance, kindness, and respect, and it's those values that I think we need more of. I think we should all come together for each other's differences. I think so too. My God, you're more mature than I am. I'm still bitter at the people who bullied me. My husband's like, "Hun, that was 40 years ago. You need to move on." You are really a together, wonderful young man. Is there anything you wanted to add, Charles? Like, where can we learn more about you and more about Unity Day?
Sure. Well, my big project so far is now trying to get a national resolution for a day of unity, for a national day of unity for our country. So, Senator Richard Blumenthal from Connecticut and Congressman Tom Emmer from Minnesota have now introduced this into the Senate and the House of Representatives. This resolution that I drafted alongside them. It was actually really, really cool because I was working with them for such a long time, and then eventually they sent me the draft for me to edit. So really here I am, a 16-year-old boy who 3 years ago was getting bullied, is sitting in his room writing a national resolution for a day of unity for our country. So I thought that was just really, really awesome. And it's been introduced, and we're trying to get as much support as we can. As well as I have a website called unitychallenge.org, where you can learn more about me and learn about the Unity Challenge, which is my social media challenge that I'd like to challenge everyone to do, which is pick one of the three words, one of the three themes of Unity Day, being tolerance, kindness, and respect, and write that word on your hand and post a picture of you holding your hand up on your social media account, and then post a video explaining why you chose that word and what that word means to you.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, that is such a great idea. Social media is incredible for things like that. Oh, Charles, you are just wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
No, I think that hopefully we can get support, and Unity Day is as powerful as everyone really makes it. And if everyone comes together for a good cause, good things will happen.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Charles, you're fantastic. I want to thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it so much.